On the by-elections, polls are now closed and vote counters are busy tallying ballots for 15 parliamentary seats that represent constituencies nationwide.
Some call it a mini general election as the outcome of today's voting holds great implications not only for the parties but also for the Park Geun-hye administration. And for a better look at the expected outcome and the parties' reactions, we have Choi You-sun at the News Center and Ji Myung-kil standing by for us at the National Assembly. Ji-sun, let's start off with you and start with today's voter turnout.
The National Election Commission says the overall turnout today was 30.9%, and that includes the amount of votes cast during last week's early voting period. 32.9% is less than the by-election average of 35.3%, but close to the turnout of 33.5% from the most recent by-election held in October of last year.
Right, so this, of course, is lower than the 50% range turnout in the last June 4th local elections and the mid-70% turnout recorded in the 2012 presidential election.
Right, but the 30% range comes as no surprise as voting day fell on a weekday and at the peak of summer vacation season. And having said that, I should also mention turnout was considered a major determinant in today's elections, as more than half of the constituencies did not clearly support one party over the other. In the past, the ruling party fared better when the turnout was low, while the opposition benefited from a higher turnout. And that's because conservative older voters tend to cast ballots more so than the liberal younger generation voters.
And we have to talk about last week's two-day early voting, seeing a turnout of nearly 8%, which is the highest level recorded from an earlier voting system.
Right, the higher than expected participation led many to wonder whether that trend would continue on the actual voting day. And what's interesting is that the districts that had rival candidates neck and neck in pre-election polls saw greater turnout, whereas those with a strong party preference had a much lower participation rate. The highest turnouts were observed in the hotly contested Suncheon Gokseong of Jeollanam-do province and in the Dongjak-bi district of Seoul, with a turnout of 51% and 47% respectively.
And Suncheon Gokseong region that you just mentioned is a traditional opposition liberal stronghold where President Park Geun-hye's close aide and former press secretary Lee Jung-hyun is running a very tight race against the former President Roh Moo-hyun's aide, Seo Gap-won.
Right, and over in Dongjak-bi, that's where the former Seoul mayor candidate Na Kyung-won is competing against No Hae-chan of the Minor Justice Party. And this is a strategically important constituency where we saw a dose of political drama, which in the end merged opposition party contenders to run against Na Kyung-won. And with this merger, it will be very interesting to watch how Na Kyung-won's support will be impacted. And we can expect to see a better picture of which party will claim victory after 11 p.m. tonight.